Hey everyone, I'm here with a product review on a pretty famous product. It's been around for quite some time. There are a lot of reviews on it, but I just happened to get my hands on it a few days ago. I received it in a swap on Makeup Alley, and it is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15 foundation. I'm wearing it now in NC 40. I don't have much on at all. Just have a little bit on my cheeks, my nose, above my lip, and my forehead. A lot of people say this is heavy coverage and it feels heavy. For me, it feels light. It looks natural. It feels natural. Maybe that's because of how I apply it and the fact that I don't use a lot. A little bit goes a long way. It covers very well, gives a natural finish. My skin is on the oily side in the summer. In the wintertime, it is so dry that I have dry patches under my nose and my forehead flakes up. In the summer, I've been having to blot my face about 2 to 3 times a day, depending on what makeup I use. With this, I had to blot once and not that much oil came off. With the other product that I will be doing a quick comparison with, which is the Revlon Colorstay, the same scenario. It's pretty good at controlling oil. I have the Colorstay in combination oily and 330 natural tan, which is a comparable shade. As you can see, the colors are quite similar. I've been told that the MAC runs a little bit yellow based, and that seems true, but it blends out quite well. I know that I can wear 330 or 350 in the Colorstay. In my opinion, 330 is a tad bit darker, but more neutral than the 350, and that's the one that I chose to keep. It works better for me. About the Studio Fix Fluid, I really like it. I don't find it heavy at all. I've watched gurus on here who apply this very generously, and they apply it with a brush, and they apply a lot. For me, I just apply a little bit with my fingers because that's the kind of coverage that I want. This gives medium to full coverage. I'm sure that it's definitely buildable, and maybe it feels heavy if you apply a lot, but with my particular skin, it didn't feel heavy. The Revlon Colorstay felt pretty weightless as well, but between the two, the Studio Fix Fluid held up a little bit better for me in the humidity, whereas when it's really hot, sometimes the Colorstay feels heavy. The foundations that have felt heavy for me to the point where I cannot wear them are the Makeup Forever HD and the MAC Pro Longwear. Whenever I tried the sample, it just felt really heavy and uncomfortable on a hot day when I had them on. These two do not. They are similar, but I wouldn't call Colorstay a dupe for the Studio Fix Fluid. They're not exactly the same. If you want medium to full flawless coverage, and if you're on a budget or if you don't have a MAC near you, grab the Revlon Colorstay at your local drugstore at a place where you can return it if the color doesn't work out. It's worth a shot. It's very nice. What I find is sometimes with the Colorstay, like the first time I applied it generously and it was too much. My face definitely looked made up and artificial. With the Studio Fix Fluid, it looked flawless, but it still looked natural. So just be aware that with the Colorstay, sometimes it can look too much, too made up, like you have foundation on. With this, it looks very natural, but still flawless. Don't get me wrong, I love the Colorstay, but just remember, ladies, a little goes a long way. You don't need much. Don't need much at all. They both cover well. They both provide the same amount of coverage. So they are similar, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're the same. That's my personal opinion. The Studio Fix Fluid looks a little bit more natural. Now with both of them, since they are medium to full coverage, buildable, they're not something that I would wear every day because that's my personal preference. Usually I'll go with a tinted moisturizer and put a little bit of the Studio Care Blend powder over top. That's the way I've been going. Tinted moisturizers, the MAC Face and Body Foundation. I like it because it's light for every day. If I'm going somewhere important or if I'm dressing up or have a special event, I will be wearing one of these two foundations, the Studio Fix Fluid or the Revlon Colorstay. But for everyday use, personally, I don't like that kind of coverage. Sometimes I won't even wear anything except for a little blush, just because that's my personal preference. Another favorite of mine is the NARS Sheer Glow. It's very good, but it's not as much coverage. So I'm just throwing that out there. But these are both very good in my book. They both get an A. I like them a lot and they're worth a try. And if you guys have any questions at all, if you have any questions about the colors, I can try to help. Just based off of what colors I take, the NC40 is comparable to the 330 or 350 in the Colorstay for combination oily. There is combination dry, but I've heard that their colors run just a tad different, so keep that in mind. The 330 and the 350 both worked for me. There was just a little bit of a difference in undertone. And from what I read, NC42 and 360 is a pretty good match. As you can see these next to each other, the MAC is more yellow toned. It looks here like the Revlon Colorstay is a little bit more beige. It has deeper beige undertone where this is more yellow golden toned. And the Colorstay actually looks a little bit darker in the bottle, but they look really similar. I will put pictures on my blog. I already have pictures on there of the Revlon Colorstay. I will put pictures up wearing the Studio Fix Fluid so that you can check that out. But these are both nice and worth a shot. So if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to help.